Hey crafty people, it's Tasha. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm joining in a video hop to celebrate the brand new release from WOW embossing powder. I'm super excited because WOW have released their very first duo. This one is inspired by Sarah Nauman and I am legit obsessed with this gorgeous pair. This duo is called A Night on the Town, and I already have some of WOW's cardstock embossed with both of the powders. The orange is Sparkling Sunset and the red is Glass of Fizz, and I really don't think that I could choose a favourite out of the two. I've also got this die set from scrapbook.com, which is like a little bunny builder, and I have been dying to use it since I first saw it in their last release. To save some time in the video, I've already done my die cutting off camera. So I have the main pieces which make up the bunny from Heavy Doodle cardstocks, and then I've cut some accessories from the embossed cardstock pieces. I want to add a little shading though, so my bunny doesn't look completely flat. So I'm taking a small blending brush and some Pebble Catherine Pooler ink to add colour around the outside of her face. I don't want much colour, so I'm starting light because that way I can build it up gradually. I'm also adding some shadow onto her ears too. A lot of them is going to be covered by the pink inner pieces, but I just want to add a really subtle amount of shadow on here too. This is one of those little tricks that really elevates your layered die cuts. Just that little amount of shading means you have a much more dimensional finished image. You don't have to use ink blending either. You can use whatever colouring medium you are most comfortable with. Now I'm moving on to her muzzle, and I want this bit to be a little darker than the rest of her face. So I'm skipping Pebble and going straight into Hoodie, which is the next darkest shade. I don't have any darker grey cardstock to use, so I'm ink blending all over to start with, and this is a great way to cheat it when you don't have the cardstock colour you need. Once I've got it darker, I'm adding the shading using the next darkest shade in this line of greys, Slate. I'm just adding this to the very top and bottom where the shadow would naturally be the darkest. I'm really liking how those two are looking together, so now I can move on to the pink inner ears. I've cleaned down my glass mat off camera so that I'm not picking up any of the grey whilst I'm shading in pink. And I'm using another mini blending brush and Party Dress from Catherine Pooler to add some darker colour to the base of each one. Then these two pieces just sit on the inside of each ear, and I'm really happy with the shading, so I'll leave it at that. I cut a couple of the accessories because I was originally thinking that I'd add both, but it really doesn't work. So I went with the Glass of Fizz Love Heart glasses, and I'll save the headband for another project. Now, whilst I'm sticking those bits together, let's talk about today's video hop. We have our design team sharing projects that they've made with this new release. And spoiler alert, I've seen them and the team knocked this one out of the park. Make sure that you leave a comment on this video and please subscribe to my channel and then hop through the list of all the designers, subscribing and leaving comments to get extra chances to win. I've cut the facial features from black cardstock and I'm using my pickup stick to glue them in place. I like that this tool has got a pointy end too, which is really useful for pushing little things like this into place. We actually have two hops going on, one here and another over on our blogs, so be sure to check both for extra chances to win. WOW are generously giving away 2 full sets of the entire release to some lucky winners. All of the details you need are down below in my description box, and you can make sure you don't miss any of the chances to win by heading over to WOW's blog for a full list of all the places that you can win. I'm adding those gorgeous red glittery glasses. I think Glass of Fizz is the perfect colour for these. Now let's work on the background. I'm using this pattern paper pad from scrapbook.com. I'm just choosing a pattern that I think goes nicely with the bunny, and I really like this floral one. I've cut it using the A2 postage die from Waffle Flower, and this one cuts a panel smaller than full A2, and you get different sized postage stamps all connected together. You can cut them apart if you want, or leave them as a single piece. I've actually layered it onto another panel of paper from the same pad that I left full A2 size. I've got this stamp set from scrapbook.com, and I'm going to use this large Hello Lovely sentiment, which fits really well onto this section in the lower right hand corner. I've got it in my mini Misty so that I can double stamp with my VersaFine Onyx Black for a really solid transfer. That's going to help it stand out against that busy background. I wouldn't ever stamp a small sentiment or one with a really thin font because it just wouldn't be legible on top of that pattern. But I think that this one works well. But if you wanted some more separation, you could always emboss it onto vellum and fussy cut it out instead. So my original plan was to use a shaded grey piece for her body, but I really wanted to add in that sparkling sunset colour that I lost because of the headband. So I cut a body from that colour instead, and I also added this frilly collar piece in white, and you guys, I love this so much more, so it all worked out for the best in the end. I'm adding a thin line of glue on the back of her head, and then I can stick the collar to that and let it fully dry before adding more glue and putting her sparkly top into place. I really love that white collar. I think it adds a really fun detail. Now that my bunny is all finished, I'm going to pop her up on some foam adhesive strips to lift her for some extra dimension. She looks so cute with that background. I decided not to add any embellishments because I think that there's already enough going on. So that's my finished card using the brand new Night on the Town duo from Wow Embossing Powder. All of my products are listed and linked below, along with all the details you need to enter today's giveaway. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today, and if you aren't already subscribed, I'd absolutely love it if you'd hit that button. Have a lovely, happy, safe and wonderful week. Stay crafty. Bye.